Hi Year 9, I hope you're all well. This is just a short video with some final tips for your speech and some ideas about making note cards for delivery. Now, I know that a lot of you have submitted your final drafts, but I have had a few messages to say that a few people would like a little bit more time because they haven't quite finished, which is fine. So if that's you, then definitely work on it during today's lesson and do your notes cards tomorrow. I can see that there's good work going on and it's fine to have a little bit more time on it. And a couple of people said that they were struggling with a few ideas. So I'm just going to quickly go through the structure again on the overall planning sheet, because I think that's the thing to turn to if you've got a bit confused with all the information. But please do watch this watch this video even if you have finished your speech, because just hearing the tips again may enable you to add other things or check that you've got everything that you need. So this is the overall planning sheet that I gave you. It's always been attached, and this is just a quick reminder that a few of you haven't got a strong sort of statement at the top about what your belief is. So I've put this in here and highlighted it to help you. You should be able to be saying at the end of your introduction, I believe that whatever your topic is, and what the call to action is. In other words, what you want to be changed. So do you think something should be changed, banned, reconsidered? Do you think that people should view things differently? Do you think something should become a priority for the government? Should it be made illegal? So if you look at the detailed notes about how to write your introduction, there is a point at which you need to talk about this. But if you don't have this in your mind about what it is you're actually saying that you want the audience to think about and really go away and change their mindset about, then that makes it difficult to make a persuasive speech. So make sure that you have got that, and that's just as part of your planning. Of course, you should have your 3 key points. These are the examples that I ran through on one of the planning sheets, knowing that you've got to have an introduction and conclusion. And there are 3 key points why you believe that your topic is important, should be listened to, or something should be changed. So a few of you needed to go back and do a bit more planning on that. And then the opening, again, there are detailed notes about this on your the PowerPoints, the more detailed PowerPoints and the more detailed video, but you should be drawing the reader in with a hook and then followed by a clear statement of what you think and believe and why you're talking about it. Don't go into detail here. Okay. In the first main paragraph, if you haven't used it before, remember to use ethos. A couple of people need to still include that in their speeches. Why is the important topic or relevant to you? So you could start with something like, I feel strongly about this topic because, and then say what it's, why it's personal to you. That gives the audience a real belief in what you're saying. The next paragraph's about logos. Well, I've put some examples in there and highlighted them of how to introduce facts and statistics by using something like recent research shows, and how to use listing and tripling after using the quotation down here in this paragraph here. And remember about the counter argument. Not everyone will use it, but a lot of people should try. So give the other point of view and then knock it down with your own argument. That can be a really powerful way to win people over. And in the final paragraph, remember to use lots of pathos to appeal to the audience. And there are more detailed tips about how to finish, but you could use some of these phrases here. And what it might be handy to do here is to link right back to the beginning. If you talked at the beginning about what you wanted to be changed, up on the other slide here, okay, what is it that you've said that you should be changed, then remind the audience of that down at the end. Okay. So some of you need to just go back and finish off your speeches there and have a look at that. When you've done that, the next task for today is to be making some notes cards. Now you're going to deliver this speech and you need to have some notes to help you. I think I'm just going to get rid of myself here. Okay. Notes should help you perform well and ensure that your message is clear. Now, a mistake that a lot of students make is to write their entire speech out, just chunk it up into paragraphs, and write it onto cards and then read it directly. But you'll look like this person here who's busy trying to read and can't engage with the audience. So let's have a look at what notes cards could look like. So here is a page of notes, which isn't that good. I think I'll get rid of myself now. I'm sure you can easily think of 3 reasons why this is a bad notes card. First of all, it's scruffy, so it's hard to read. It's written in pencil, so it looks like it's been rubbed out, and that makes it hard to read. And there are crossings out. And of course, there's far too much information on here. You would have to hold it quite close to your face to read it all and make clear what you were saying, and you wouldn't be able to look up and engage with your audience at all. So that's not what we want to get to. Let's just move this slide on. Okay, there are your reasons. Writing too small and squished, it's smudged, it's crumpled, there's too much on there. So what about this then? Do we think this one is a little bit better? It's slightly better. 2 more reasons why it's still not great. One is I'd say it's still got too much information on it. It's full sentences and it's going to require you to read out and be really focusing on your card or your piece of paper rather than looking at your audience. Also, it's written in pencil. Again, it's going to smudge. And the other thing is that it's not numbered, so you don't know where, if you dropped your cards all over the floor in the middle of your speech, which I have seen happen, you don't know what is going to come in what order. Here is the other extreme. So really some bullet points written in pen that won't smudge, not a lot of writing on it. There aren't any crossings out, and there are just some key words that lay out the ideas. And it's not written word for word, so it's not going to sound like you're reading something out word for word. Of course, it does require that you know your speech quite well, and you may want to put a little bit more information on than that. So we've got 2 extremes, and one is like this, all typed out. That's gobbledygook, that's just an example, where you're going to have to read it and you can't look at your audience. And the card that has some key points on here in black, and I'm just going to run through why this one is probably the happy medium. First of all, you've got something at the top which tells you where it comes. It's paragraph 2. It's going to remind you that you're going to give an argument, the logos, and facts and statistics. Now, what you can do is put the beginning of sentences down to help you. Research shows that, and then you could put ... You might want to actually put some of the key statistics in there because you won't remember those in your head. But as long as it's not the whole sentence, so that enables you to speak more naturally. You might want to, looking at the second bullet point here, remind yourself of some of the key words and the linking sentences. So after you've talked about the research, you might remind yourself you want to say that's a shocking statistic, it hit home for you, you might link to your own experience. Of course, it can be hard and you're going to be a little bit nervous delivering your speech. And so you can put some full sentences down that you think you really want to remember. But make sure they're big, they're written quite big, they're clear. And of course, use capitalization and underlining to really emphasize the words that you want to stand out, so that when you look down at your notes, you're going to remember the points you want to really stress. And also, those words are going to jump out at you and help remind you what you're saying. So in today's lesson then, a lot of you will be moving on to writing your cards, but you may want to just go back and check that you've got all the elements in your speech. And if you do want to resubmit it because you've submitted it, then let me know. Other people who haven't finished, please make sure that you have looked through the start of this video and you've thought about all the elements you need to include. There are a couple of people who still just keep sending me the same first draft. It is going to go to your teachers for next year, this speech, so that it's ready in your GCSE class for delivery and for looking at by your new teachers. So it does need to be the best that you can make it, please. Please type it up if you have any facilities to type up. That's going to make it much easier to store, and it does make it easier for me to read. If you can't, that's fine. Just send me a little message and make sure you've sent me the best photograph possible. So good luck, Year 9. Well done on this topic so far, and let me know if you need any help.